Welcome to the Sheriff's Ohio Review. It was a very beautiful day at Papa John's Cardinal Stadium. 55,332 fans, just 54 fans shy of last year's season opening victory against Kentucky for the all-time #1 Papa John's Cardinal Stadium attendance record. It was a big day for the Cards, especially on offense. 615 yards to Ohio's 273. The Cards actually led 342 to 88 in total offense at halftime. Cards racked up 25 first downs. They were 13 of 16 on third down. They actually dominated time of possession, and they had the ball 37 minutes and 16 seconds of the available 60 minutes. And they actually had 7 touchdowns in the game, just 1 from the red zone. So there was a lot of long plays in this game, and we're going to go through each and every kind of touchdown especially, but then we're going to go through some of the ways that they could improve, highlight some areas on defense that they did well and where they could have made some gains where they didn't. Teddy Bridgewater was awesome on the day. The Cardinal offensive line only allowed 1 sack. Teddy was able to go 23 of 28 for 355 yards, 5 touchdowns, and 1 interception, which we're going to take a look at. Teddy had the second highest passer rating according to collegefootballstats.com. The only person that was actually in front of him was Indiana's quarterback. So let's go ahead and get started and start breaking down some of these plays. Teddy Bridgewater's first touchdown pass is on a rollout. He throws off his back foot at 34 yards to Damian Copeland, and he is wide open. You can kind of see how Damian gets wide open here on the slow motion replay that's about to show. Basically, the defender just leaves him. I don't know exactly who he's defending or what he's doing, but if he thinks the safety's behind him, the safety isn't. The corner just lets Damian right behind him, and that's just way too easy for Teddy Bridgewater for the first touchdown of the Louisville Cardinals for 2013. Louisville forces a 3-and-out on the very next series, actually the first series for Ohio. James Burgess makes a fantastic play. He actually leads the Cardinals in tackles on this day. And I wanted to highlight a couple of his good tackles, and this is definitely one of them where he drops Bo Blankenship straight on this third down screen pass. This is Teddy Bridgewater's second touchdown pass, also to Damian Copeland in the right short corner of the end zone. It's an absolute fantastic throw. We're going to look at it several times because it is right on the money. Back shoulder throw, front of the pylon, along the sideline. The defender has nothing that he can do with it. He's actually in decent position for the back shoulder throw, but this is in the front, and Teddy puts it exactly where it needs to be. I don't know how you handle this. I don't know what you do with it. I don't think it can be defended. I think that's one of the most perfect throws that you'll ever see in college football, and I think it was his best throw of the day. So we're going to look at it a bunch of times, but fantastic touchdown, and Cards take a 14-0 lead. Louisville struggled with kickoff in 2012 and 2013. It looks like that may continue based on this kickoff here. The Cards had 2 guys playing the same gap lane, and it's actually Deion Rogers goes into Jarrell McGriff-Culver's lane. At least it appears to me to be that way, where Deion just over pursues and allows a cutback lane. And then in the end, Jermaine Reeve actually rips off the guy's helmet, gets a face mask penalty to add on 15 yards to a long return. Here you can see on slow motion, Deion just over pursues, goes right in front of Jarrell. Jarrell cannot recover because of Deion being in front of him. And it looks like it's just poor tackling. Robert Clark, wide receiver, tries to take out his legs. The return man is able to stay on his feet, and then the Cards try to stand him up and strip the ball, but the helmet actually ends up getting ripped off instead. So it's a 15-yard penalty from there. The Cards cannot give up big long kickoffs like this, and it just is something that they must improve in 2013 so they don't give away cheap scores. So this is a discipline area. You have to maintain your lane, and that's something that I look for the Cards to continue to improve on. This play is a good example of James Burgess being good at football and a right guard not knowing how to block. So if you take a look at this play, James Burgess has good gap discipline, and the right guard actually has to choose between James Burgess and Preston Brown. He chooses Preston. James Burgess goes and cleans up the play, and James was all over the field, and that was a good example of where he was on the day. As good as the Cards were on Sunday, they were not perfect. Here's a play from Damian Copeland where he just drops the ball. Teddy puts the ball on a really good line, and it is a touch behind Damian, but he takes the punishment anyway. This is a play that has to be made. Heisman Trophy candidate quarterback, senior wide receiver, your returning leading receiver on the team. It's a play that's down the middle. You take the hit anyway. Go ahead and catch that ball, and we'll get the first down and move the chains. Teddy Bridgewater and Devontae Parker are dangerous together as a wide receiver and quarterback. They're even more dangerous when the cornerback falls down in coverage. That's too easy for Teddy Bridgewater and a Biletnikoff candidate in Devontae Parker. We'll speculate on whether or not that cornerback fell down to save himself from embarrassment because he probably wasn't going to stop that anyway. Let's give some love to the guys on the inside. Brandon Dunn here makes a fantastic play from the nose guard position to stop the run. This is as good as a nose guard can play, and he comes in, fills the lane, makes a tackle solo, and then everybody else comes on top of him and helps him out. Next, we have Roy Philon, on a sack. So you can see Roy here. He kind of comes in here, comes off the ground, and makes the play. So it's a very good play for Roy. Very good play for right in a row for both the tackles. And, you really like to see that after last year on the interior defensive line play. This is Hakeem Smith's second career interception. I like seeing this because for a guy who's made a ton of tackles, just 2 picks in the secondary. Here you see George Durant get his hands up, active hands. Gerard Hallman gets a piece of it. Hakeem Smith lays out and gets the ball. They call this an incompletion on the field. They review it. Hakeem gets his second career pick, and I really like to see that for 2013. Unfortunately for the Cards, they give the ball right back here on this Teddy Bridgewater interception. He's looking for Devontae Parker. Short. Devontae's not looking back and is actually wanting the ball long. So there's a little communication error here, and the safety's able to just really pick that ball off fairly easily. It's one of the easier Teddy Bridgewater interceptions you'll ever see, and the Cards get the ball right back. This is one of the bigger gains for Ohio on the day. Looks like Calvin Pryor gets confused on his assignment, or he doesn't believe that number 89 is actually going to go as deep as he does. Looks like Calvin just kind of gives up, looks over on the field route. Tettleton kind of looks him off a little bit, and the Cards get burned deep for a big one, and Ohio move the ball into their own territory. Charles Gaines, you got to make this pick 6. This is gift wrapped for you. It's right in your lap. You kind of misplay the ball, and that's just unfortunate because that was perfect for you. If you were wanting more James Burgess, here you go. Here's a great pass breakup. He gets there right on Bo Blankenship as soon as the ball arrives. He gets there. The ball looks like it could be complete, but Burgess goes in there and breaks it up anyway. We saw George Durant with active hands on the other interception earlier. Now here he is again making a play in the passing game. This is in the red zone. Durant comes over right here and just absolutely knocks that ball out, and that's a great play for a guy who's known for his run defense. If you want to make things easy for Teddy Bridgewater in a passing game, put a linebacker on one of his receivers. Here we see Javon Johnson lined up against Kai De La Cruz. Johnson is in the game because Keith Moore, actually Ohio's one of their better linebackers, was actually injured in the first quarter of this game. He's lined up against Kai De La Cruz, and Kai just makes mincemeat out of him. Here's a longer look at this play. Here you see Kai in the slot against Javon Johnson, and Johnson tries to push him inside and keep him within the safety boundary. Damian Copeland stops short and gives him a lot of room with the cornerback. That's just too easy of a throw, so much space for Teddy Bridgewater to work with. This should have been a touchdown for Louisville. Jermaine Reeve jumps the route, looks like he has it, and just tips the ball out. And I really think that should have been an interception going the other way. Watch your right guard here, Chris Acosta. In his first career start, he gets a holding penalty that negates a big Dominic Brown rush on first down. It's kind of an unfortunate play. He's pulling. He comes out here, gets Johnson, and kind of spins him. You can see his hand out in the front as he's spinning, and that's a hold every single time. Negates a big play from Dominic Brown, but the Cards score on this possession anyway, but you just like to see that sort of thing get cleaned up. Michael Dyer's first touchdown run is big boy football. This is a 46-yard touchdown run. Started up the left-hand side. Nacho Garcia, John Miller, Griffin Ull, and Jake Smith, they lead the way, and they absolutely dominate Ohio on that left side. And then Dyer's speed allows him to get past Xavier Hughes after they do their work. That's a huge hole for Dyer to run through. And, talking about a BCS national champion MVP, the offensive line creates a huge hole like that. There's going to be a lot of running room for Dyer in the future. Here's a scenario where I think that Ohio caught Terrell Floyd napping. Everything Ohio was doing up to this point was short and in front, and I think they just caught T. Floyd napping when they threw the bomb over his head. I don't think that he expected them to go that deep on him. This is excellent cornerback play from Charles Gaines here on the end zone on a fade route. If anything, this is offensive pass interference because Gaines is in position to make an interception, but Gaines is in perfect position to make the play and prevent the touchdown and break up the pass. Teddy Bridgewater's not perfect, and I left the pre-snap activity in here to prove that. Teddy checks into this option play, which exposes him to unnecessary risk and an unnecessary hit. Here, Teddy is a major part of this team, and him taking a hit like this, up 35-0, 7 minutes to go, is just unnecessary. You have to be aware of risk, reward, and scenario, and in this situation, Teddy makes a very bad decision audibling into this play. As soon as you criticize Teddy Bridgewater, he makes a play that makes your jaw drop. This is exactly where Teddy Bridgewater needs to be. This is exactly why he is who he is, because he can make throws like this to Robert Clark in the end zone for touchdowns, deep balls. He's a special player, and we're really lucky to have him here at the University of Louisville. Here, the Cards give up a sack, up 42-0 on Teddy Bridgewater. Probably should be out of the game at this point. But you see, Ohio runs a stunt. Chris Acosta misses his block. Ryan Mack falls down on his man, and Gerald Christian does not get a hand on the Ohio defensive tackle here on the stunt. So Teddy Bridgewater actually fumbles the ball. John Miller saves the day and jumps on the ball, and the Cards it wouldn't have mattered either way because it was fourth down. But that's a sack that probably shouldn't happen that late in the ball game. From there, it was all about the second unit. The Cards actually gave up a touchdown on second string defense, and then Will Gardner comes in and connects it to Kai De La Cruz for a touchdown. And the Cards were on their way. That would be the final score, 49-7. It was a fantastic day at Papa John's Cardinal Stadium. Great way to start the year off 1-0, and the Cards will get EKU next week, and we'll be doing this each and every week, Sheriff Review on video format, and I hope you enjoy it, and I really appreciate you watching.